Scrubs, I hope you're well. So we're back in Horsehaven World Adventures, and I am joined by Kosetsu.
Hello everyone.
So we're going to discuss some of the exclusive horses in the game. We're also going to talk about the new stable thing that they have added, which you did actually get one, didn't you?
Yeah, I did get the first one. The other ones are a bit pricey. I'm not sure if they're necessarily worth it, but right here, as you can see, after you purchase the first one, it even says 50% off, which I don't necessarily believe, but it does have a price of $9.99. That's pretty expensive for a one-stall horse. Like, just one horse. It's just, that's pretty insane.
I mean, whenever I clicked on the offer, I think it said it was 50% off, and I still have the first one that is $1.99, and I was like, this isn't half price, and now they're saying that one's half price, so I'm kind of like, really? Are you telling me that it would have been 20 quid? Not a chance I would have bought that. I think the $1.99's okay, but I really don't understand why we just can't have horse stables that we can level up in the game.
That was a pretty crappy move on their part. But moving on, we're going to talk about how you place the stable once you've bought it and what you can do with it. Now, they did mention that it was rotatable, and that is a flat-out lie, because it cannot rotate. It is stuck in the direction
that you place it?
No, it's just stuck in this direction. You can't rotate it at all. So you can hit OK to place it, it's instantly done, and there you go. If you don't like where you've placed it, you can move it. It's pretty simple. Just keep doing that. Now, if you want to move it to a different ranch, you can totally do that. You just put it back in your inventory, and then you can go to any ranch that you want and put it down there.
Do you think that they called it a rotatable stable not because it actually can physically be rotated, but because it can be rotated around all the ranches?
Maybe. I think it would have been better had the stable been able to be rotated like you can with these things. Mm-hmm. Because obviously now we're kind of stuck where we're either going to put it out in the middle of nowhere, or you're going to try to line it up with the rest of your stables to be, you know, kind of aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
So once you place it, if you want to put a horse in it, you can just go to the swap, hit the swap button from your grand stable, and then you can just move your horse into it like so. And there you go.
Yeah. I mean, I think for the purposes of anyone that always runs out of a stable, probably having that one extra stable that you can pull out of your storage when you need it, to put a horse in, I think it is handy.
It definitely is handy. If let's just say that all of your grand stables are full, you have a horse that needs to come out of the breeding house, just drop the stable down and pull it out. I mean, it does have its pros, but it's really pricey for just one horse stall.
Yeah, and the thing that has always annoyed me about certain games, and Horse would be guilty of this as well, is I'm sure there's plenty of games actually could technically be called guilty of it, especially mobile games, but when they bring out an item and they're like, it's half price, and you're like, it's never been that price though, you know?
You know, the funny thing about you saying that is that it brings this to mind. Mm-hmm. When you look at this and you're a new player, you're gonna assume that this horse is actually 50% off. In reality, the horse has never cost the price that is crossed out. It has always been $19.99. This isn't a sale. It's just a cheap tactic. Yeah.
Because I feel like, from what I can remember in, like, retail, like, in actual physical spaces, like shops and things, if you say something has been half price, it has to have been that price for so many days before you can say that it's you know, had 30% off or 50% off or whatever. You cannot do that. And I don't know if that applies digitally.
That's a good question.
You know?
I don't know either. All I know is that whenever you look at these ads, they've never ever been the original price. Every single one of them has always been crossed off, and to make you think you're getting 50% off of the product. And who would buy a double pack for $39.98
Horse used to have Christmas packs. I don't know if they're doing them. They probably will do them this year as well. But like the most expensive one would be somewhere in the region of £150 or something like that. And it would always have like half price, have 300. And all I could think was, I've been here since these have really been a thing, and I've never seen it that price. And some people would argue that that's the value if you take everything individually, and in a way it kind of was. But at the same time, I was like, but it's never been that price. You could say that the value of the individual items, maybe so. But it made it like, it's just a little bit iffy as a tactic in my mind.
Yeah. There's a lot of iffy tactics in this game for getting people to buy stuff. The other thing I want to mention about the stable is having the additional stables means that you will generate additional income, which is great if you're running low on money and stuff like that. Eventually, I guess maybe the stable would pay for itself simply because you have extra income from 5 additional stalls. But again, that's up to your personal preference and if it's really worth it for you.
I mean, I might consider getting that one extra stable for the $199, but I certainly will not pay for the $9.99 ones. I just don't see the point.
Yeah.
I know you could say the gold aspect, sure, but I don't think it's value for money.
Right.
After the first one.
Right. Okay, so before we move on to talking about some of the horses here, we just want to bring up the upcoming horses in this event. They are Gingerbread and Anticipation.
Anticipation? Yeah.
Anticipation, yeah. Okay. Let's find it here. Gingerbread. Okay, so here's Gingerbread. Here's a tier 1. So this one actually kind of reminds me of the Gratitude horse.
Yeah. Similar colors.
Mm-hmm.
That really light pink going on with it.
I'm interested to see the full body of this in the game. I know that there was like an ad that was posted of seeing the body, but again, those pictures can be very misleading. A lot of the horses that they post on the Facebook page don't actually end up coming out the same way that they were revealed as.
Yeah, because you usually have the concept art and then you have what it actually looks like in the engine, which is 2 very different things. So like most of the time I don't like bother getting too hyped up because I'm like, I'll wait until I see it in the game and whether I'm gonna like it or not. And half the time what happens is I like the tier 1 and then the tier 3 I'm like, why did you make it this color?
Yeah, they've had some pretty wonky colors lately. Alright, let's look at the tier 2. It's green mane there. Not too much difference in the body color.
No, it's very similar. It's slightly a little bit more golden, but yeah, no, there's not much difference there.
And then the tier 3. Now this one I think is very true to its name.
Yeah. I think I would have liked it more to be more onto a chestnut. I mean, it could obviously look different because sometimes you do have the differences between what they look like there. But I think maybe I would have preferred a slightly more chestnut colored horse.
Yeah, and again, sometimes these profile pictures can be misleading, so, we'll have to wait to see what it looks like in the stables in game. It might be prettier than what it seems.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, let's go look at the next one.
Anticipation is closer up to the top, I think.
Okay.
I remember.
There's so many. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, there.
Now, I really like the red. It's really cute. It's got that white. I honestly don't like the little markings on it.
Mm-hmm. Why didn't I don't know. Well, what's the other tiers look like?
Well, here's a tier 2. Oh, it's blue.
Yeah.
It's got some green tips on the mane there.
Mm-hmm. And then what's the tier 3 like?
Oh.
That's like a weird... That's almost like between a silver and a gold.
Yeah. I mean, this is going to be interesting to see. Because this color is very unique.
Because I feel like looking at this horse, they could have actually... The first one could have been called Peppermint, because it kind of looks like, a candy can or something. Or maybe even candy can. But the last one, I'm like, as I look at all the colors, it could have been named Tinsel. Because it kind of reminds me of that because of its mane.
Those are some really good names. Like, I honestly don't understand the name of this horse,
Yeah, I think whenever we see it in game, maybe it'll make more sense, possibly, but yeah, name-wise, I don't understand it.
Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to actually look at the horses that were available in the Season Pass. I personally did get the Season Pass because I am not one to buy every single horse unless it's a deal. And the Season Pass was the first time they actually offered a really good deal on horses. You technically are going to, by the end of it, we'll have 13 horses, including the Aurora horse that you got for free if you spend enough money during that time period. So technically it was a really good deal at that time. That is why I have every single Season Pass horse up until this point. So we're going to actually take a look at every single tier of all of those horses. But first, we're going to start with Aurora.
So this is the Aurora horse that you got?
Yes, and this is the one that was free if you spent $50 or more during that special period.
I like this horse. I am curious to see what they do color-wise for the other tiers, because there is only the tier 1 right now, isn't there?
Yes, we do only have the tier 1 right now. The female has not been released, but we actually do know what colors are coming for the tier 2 and the tier 3 by their profile pictures, which I can definitely pull up for us.
Okay. I mean, this horse is very different to some of the ones that they added before, because we haven't had, as far as I can remember, you can correct me otherwise, we haven't had a horse that is both winged and has a horn in any of the other exclusive horses.
That is correct.
As far as I know.
This is the first one where it, I know we've had horns on the tack, like antlers and stuff, but we've never had a horse that it's specifically wings and the horn is on the horse itself.
So is there no preview for the other tiers?
We do, like I said, we do have like the little card preview, but we don't know what they look like other than that. So here's the tier 2.
Oh, so they do actually show it. Okay.
Yep.
I didn't realize that. Don't think I like that one. It looks kind of odd.
Just wait till you see the tier 3. Are you ready?
Yeah. Oh no, I don't like that color. Yeah, no, I'm not so much a fan of that. That reminds me of watermelon.
Yeah, that's a really good comparison there.
But pink and green, no.
Yeah, so this was actually a pretty big disappointment for me when I saw the tier 3's thumbnail image, or the card image here. I hope that it actually looks better than what I'm thinking it's gonna look like. There's a chance, but who knows? So let's go ahead and go back to the actual horse.
Yeah, I think the tier 1 of this, like, obviously the other ones could come out and the profile pictures could actually not reflect how nice they are, but I don't think I like the color schemes preview compared to the tier 1.
Yeah, I have to admit, if the color schemes don't seem or don't appear to be prettier on the actual models when we see them in game, the tier 1 is going to be my favorite, and I probably won't bother to breed it very quickly if that is the case.
I mean, this horse is very nicely animated. I do like it. I sort of like the double wing that they have kind of going on, but they also have that in the Clover horse, don't they?
Yes, it is also in the Clover horse.
So the next horse that you got was the Porcelain horse. It was one of the first ones you got, yeah?
Yep, it was the very first Season Pass horse.
Okay. I have to say that this is a horse that I really, really liked, but I'm less disappointed now having not got it because Exclusive Honor came out, and it's a similar-ish model. Golden as well, and Exclusive Spring. They all kind of remind me slightly of this model, the way that the main's animated. So I think this is like a horse that I can kind of say I do like all of the different tier colors of. I like the blue, I like the green, and I like the red.
Yeah, this one was actually really nice. I did like it. I really don't have any negative feedback about this horse. It looks really good, like you said, in all of its tiers. My favorite tier is probably going to be the tier 2. I really like the red. It really stands out compared to the other two.
I think my favorite is possibly the blue one or the green one. Less so on the red one. I think if I had to pick though, I would go with the green one. I think that's my favorite. So the next one was Autumn. This was a horse that I thought was kind of odd. And I still think is kind of odd. The tier 1 is exactly what I could imagine an autumn horse looking like in this game. The colors are really good. I think that it was kind of interesting because it's got like what looks to be like leaves in its mane and stuff like that. And then the tier 2 is kind of like really super red. I thought the body was kind of a strange color. I don't even know what to call that. But the one that just kind of lost me completely was the tier 3, which is this off green color with this like browny sort of tawny mane. And I just feel like they should have like changed this completely. Maybe have had the first one, you know, that color that trees start to go at the very start of autumn, and then maybe gradually made it more and more like into the tier 1 color. I feel like it should have looked more like the changes of autumn rather than what they did, which is nearly the reverse. But not really.
Yeah, one thing I do have to say about this, though, is that when they revealed all the tiers on Facebook, they had some weird lighting on that horse. And the tier 3 did not look green. It looked white.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a big disappointment when I saw it in game, and it was green.
Yeah. This is why I always feel like you have to always see these things in the final game engine to see what the lighting's going to look like and the color, because I've seen it happen a couple of times, not even just in Horsehaven, but in other games where they'll preview something, and then when it comes to the actual game and it's put in the engine, the lighting changes the color.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. This horse could have been a lot more. The other thing that I'm going to mention here is that they did do us a solid with the legs, because on some of the horses, the legs that have the feathering on it tend to move off of the horse when it's running. It looks very bad, and because of the way that they did this horse's feet with the vines wrapping around it, we don't have that problem, which is great. I prefer that over the horse's leg coming out of its feathering and looking really awkward.
Yeah, because that has been a problem across quite a few horses with the feathering. So the next horse was Vampire, and I feel like, I don't know about you, but this horse was a little bit of a disappointment for me. The tier 1 is kind of odd, but I actually really like the tier 2 one. I really liked the colors and everything that went on with it. But then the tier 3 for me was just like, I don't understand why we've gone with this color scheme for this particular horse. I mean, I know they can do whatever they want. It's their game. They could call a horse red and make it purple. But I just feel like I would have wanted a scarier looking horse for a vampire horse when you go with that name. But in terms of design, I actually don't mind the design that much. I think the problem that I have with this horse is just the color scheme that went with the design. I'm not mad keen on, except I do like the tier 2. But I don't like the weird blonde that they went with for the tier 3.
The reason why I have a huge issue with this horse is because in steeplechases and sometimes in dressage, depending on the moveset, you only get to see the one side of this horse, which then pretty much it doesn't showcase the other side of the horse at all. So you're only seeing half of this horse almost for the majority of the game, which is sad. The tier 1 to me is really nice. I like it. The tier 2, I really like the tier 2. It's probably my favorite out of all of them. And then the tier 3, again, that golden side, like you said, I don't understand why they did that. Especially with that side having the bone wing on it, to have that color is so weird.
Because I feel like I like the concept of it having two sides, having the sort of almost, I would nearly call it almost, it's not exactly, but like a weeping angel on one side, and then the bony wing on the other side. I like the concept, but I just feel like other than the tier 2, I'm not a fan of the color set that went with it.
The other thing I'm going to point out about this horse is its wings when it's running. They look ridiculous. They look like it's a stick that they just attach to the horse, and that's it. There's no movement. The movement that is there, it looks really weird.
It looks a little bit stiff. It doesn't really, I suppose, like with a lot of the winged horses, they're kind of consistently, see, whenever like it's just on its idle, it is like bringing its wings up and down and up and down, but when it's running, it doesn't.
Yeah, it's just odd. Like, because almost all of the other horses that have wings are usually flapping through the race or have some kind of movement to them. This just looks odd.
Yeah. So the next horse is the winter horse. Now, I have to say that when I first saw the concept art for this, I don't think I was overly keen. And I don't really like this horse that much. The mane is so long, and in the way it's kind of done, it reminds me of like an octopus. It's very, very curtainy. It just feels like it's kind of plopped on its mane. I don't know. I'm not overly keen on this. The bottom of the mane or the tail. I kind of get what they're trying to go for. They were trying to make it look like big, massive icicles. And I appreciate the attempt at that. I just don't feel like I'm mad keen on this. If I was going to say, I don't mind the color scheme. I think the color scheme's fine. I think the tier 1's actually nice. I actually think it's my favourite out of all of them. Color scheme wise, I think this is an example where the color scheme really is well done. Like, they're going for really bluey, icy colors. It looks cold, and it kind of, I suppose in a way, it does kind of look like frozen water, the way the manes come down. But it's not a horse that's for me. It's not my cup of tea.
I personally really like draft horses, so I was really surprised to see that this was a draft model. The initial concept art did not portray that at all. The legs on this horse actually really drive me nuts. I think it looks really weird. I get what they were trying to go for, but I don't know, it looks really weird to me. And like you said, the mane, octopus-like, because especially when it stretches out in a certain way, it really does look like it's octopus's tentacles moving around.
I think the thing with that mane is because it's so heavily attached at the top, and then it like moves near the bottom, that's why it reminds me of an octopus. I think if they had given it more free movement higher up, I think they possibly would have got a better result with it, you know?
Possibly.
I feel like that maybe would have worked better, or if they'd literally just almost made really solid icicles almost that didn't move.
Solid icicles might also look kind of weird. Like its feet, because its feet has solid ice on it.
Yeah.
I really don't like that. It's supposed to be solid ice, but the horse is moving and bending its foot, so it looks really awkward. The other thing I'm going to mention here is that the draft models are still glitched. They used to have a squished face, but now their face isn't squished, but it does have this weird animation when it's running. So that's an unfortunate thing that they still have yet to fix. All of the draft models' eyes are all defaulted to blue when they grow up. You can see their actual eye color when they're full. But once they get this fixed, the eyes will no longer be blue, and they'll be the color that they were when they were a full. But yeah, the face, the face on the draft models is glitched right now.
Okay, so the final horse that we are going to talk about is Comet. This one was recently added. I actually have to say, I think this is really, 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 really good. I think it is beautiful color. I like the way they have done the body. They've kind of, as you mentioned to me previously, they have got... It's almost like they took the spirit horses and they've improved on that, the see-through nature of them. And you can see the little snowflakes in the body. And the horse is transparent almost.
You know, we were talking about this the other day, and then when I was thinking about it, it was like maybe they were kind of going for a snow globe effect with this horse. Because that's kind of what it reminds me of, the inside of the body there. It's really, really neat. I like it. This horse is really nice. I cannot wait to see the other tiers of this in game, which we can actually pull up in the game here, the other tiers, and have a quick look to see what the colors are going to be. But like, the females haven't come out yet, so we won't be able to see that in footage quite yet. Okay, so we've already seen the tier 1, so let's go ahead and look at the tier 2. Tier 2, it has blue and looks like some green in there. Might be pretty.
Which looks like it'll be really nice, I think. Yeah.
And then the tier 3, we have pink and yellow.
Which I'm less of a fan of. But I think because the horse overall, the animations are nice. I like the model. It's probably one of my favorite models. Generally, like, it's pretty much exclusive honor, golden, spring kind of a game. So that's like one of my favorite models in the game. So I like the model, I like the animations, I like the way the mane and tail are animated, and I do like the translucentness of it. So overall, this is like, I like this horse a lot.
Yeah, it is really nice. One thing I'm going to say is, let's go ahead and go back and take a look at the tack part here. If you notice, the tack is also translucent. It's pretty interesting. Like, this is the first time we've seen tack like this, so that's very nice and very, I guess you could say, creative on their end.
Yeah, I think this is a really good horse that they've done. I think I'd hope to see more like this, because I think the fact that they did go ahead and they put the effort in to make the tack also kind of translucent. I'd be curious to see what it looks like on a regular solid horse, actually. But yeah, I think overall this is a really good job. I really don't have any criticism to give this horse.
Yeah, me either. I really like it. Now that you mentioned seeing what the tack looks like on a regular horse, let's go ahead and do that and see what happens. And here we have it on the honor horse, and it is still translucent. The horns look a little blurry there compared to when it is on the Comet.
Just a little bit, but I think it still works really well. It still looks really nice.
This tack is really, really well done. Honestly, I don't think I've seen tack this well done in a long time.
Yeah. I think it fits really well, and it's nice and sharp and clean, even though, like, it's translucent, which you would kind of be worried with something translucent that would start to look blurry, but I don't think it loses that definition.
Yeah, I really like this tack. I'm probably going to try it on different horses, but yep, there you have it.
Yep, I actually think it would look really nice on the golden tier 2, the silvery one.
Oh yeah, you're right, it would.
Let us know down in the comments below what you think of these horses, or just any other general comments, such as about the stable or some of the up-and-coming horses. But anyway, scrubs, I'm going to leave it there. I hope you had a lovely day. Bye, guys!